WOON Radio. ON Cares.
Do you remember the 20th century? If you do, you should be listening to Do You Remember weekday mornings on ON Radio. Hi, everyone. This is John W. And you know what they say? If you don't use it, you lose it. So share your memories with me and your friends Monday through Friday from 9:30 to 10:30 a.m. That's the Do You Remember program right here and only on ON, AM, and FM radio.
NBC News Radio. I'm Tom Roberts. A nearly $500 billion bill, mostly aimed at helping small businesses survive the coronavirus crisis, is now law. The bill pumps money into a popular loan program that quickly ran dry after passage of the roughly $2 trillion coronavirus stimulus bill last month. President Trump signed the measure today at the Oval Office and took a moment to address the rising U.S. COVID-19 death toll, which today surpassed 50,000.
If we didn't take quick action, you could have lost many millions of people. So we're really being given a lot of credit for a lot of people. I'm not looking for credit for myself, but I am looking for credit for people in the federal government that have done such a great job, and for the doctors and nurses and everybody else.
The White House is pushing back on the idea that President Trump approved of Georgia reopening its economy today before he denounced it a day later. The president said in a statement that he never gave Governor Brian Kemp approval for businesses outside of the guidelines to open. He called a news story saying he did fake news. Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer is extending the state's stay home, stay safe order through May 15th. In addition to requiring residents to stay home as much as possible and maintain social distancing, the new order includes a requirement for wearing face coverings when in enclosed public spaces.
No one will be subject to criminal penalty for going without a mask, but a face covering is crucial to protecting the public and our critical employees.
In Connecticut, the loosening of restrictions is expected to start in June and will most likely continue for months. Governor Ned Lamont says many of the non-essential businesses forced to close are very labor-intensive.
Hospitality, bars, restaurants, that's about 150,000 employees. That's where a lot of the lost employment is coming from right now.
A second Navy warship is being sidelined after more than 15 sailors on board tested positive for COVID-19. The USS Kidd was operating in the Caribbean. You're listening to the latest from NBC News Radio.
We're here for you on the Talk of the Valley, ON Radio.
Good morning and welcome to Coffee Ann, the longest-running panel discussion show in American radio. To make a comment or ask a question to the panel, call 401-766-1240 or email at joe@onesockеtradio.com. And now, let's join the Coffee Ann panel on ON 1240, WOON One Socket Radio.
Thank you, and good morning to you. It is Monday morning, April 27th, and it is Coffee and Time on ON, AM, and FM. My name's Joe Callahan. Thanks for joining us this morning. And with us on the Coffee and panel, let's say good morning to Dave Richards. Good morning, Dave.
Hey, good morning, Joe. Good morning, everybody. Lovely day.
And joining us on the phone, the Woonsocket School Superintendent, Dr. Patrick McGee, is with us. Good morning, Dr. McGee.
Yay.
Good morning, Joe. Good morning, Dave.
Thanks for joining us this morning. Now, our first segment sponsor of Windermere of Coffee Inn is Windermere Woods.
Windermere Woods, located at 1044 Menden Road in Woonsocket. Windermere Woods, 401-762-4226, and also on the web at windermerewoods.com. Live at Windermere Woods in a nice atmosphere that provides caring, security, and comfort. Once you move in, you'll want to stay at Windermere Woods for many years and be happy. It's a comfortable place to live and meet new people, enjoy regular meals, and get peace of mind. Windermere Woods is a small community with a nice, friendly atmosphere, and Windermere Woods is affordable. Windermere Woods offers such programs as housekeeping services, transportation to doctor's appointments, and to shopping. Windermere Woods is a very secure facility, 24/7 staffing. Someone's there day and night. They provide social entertainment activities and invite you to come by and visit. Windermere Woods, 1044 Menden Road, Woonsocket, 401-762-4226. Windermere Woods.
We welcome you back to Coffee Ann. Thanks for joining us today. And once
Coffee
again,
Ann never left, Joe.
That's true.
That was just part of the show, really.
This is, all right. That's Joe Callahan.
Everybody does it on all the channels. We're back, but, the commercials are part of it. Otherwise, nobody eats.
True. All right, Dr. Patrick McGee, how are you today, by the way?
I'm very well, thanks, Joe.
Okay.
He sounds good, Joe. He sounds good.
That sounds good. Yeah.
I can't see him, but he sounds good. I saw him last Wednesday night on the school committee meeting. Boy, he looked great.
Looking great? Okay, good.
Yeah, I've never seen this man. I saw him once before, not in a suit. And that was when he was running the Rotary race at Autumn Fest.
Okay. We had Dr. McGee on Coffee about 4 or 5 weeks ago, and back then it was just the beginning of distance
People
learning.
are still talking about it, Joe.
What, him not wearing a suit or what?
No, about him being on Coffee and silly.
Oh, okay. And so here we are, 4 or 5 weeks later. The governor has shut all the school buildings down. Really not a surprise, Dr. McGee, that was coming with the whole COVID-19 thing going on. So I'm going to hope you're prepared that the schools are ready to go for distance learning for the rest of the school year.
So, yeah, we are. We're ready, and you're absolutely correct. It was something that we were anticipating. I don't think there were too many people who thought that we would be going back to school, based on on what some other states nearby have done, and just to ensure the health and the safety of all of our students and our staff. So it really came as no surprise. So we had been preparing really to be out for the duration. Really sort of from the get-go, and there are some things that we've some plans we put into place, and we have sort of a blueprint as we move forward to ensure, especially at the elementary level, our grade K through 4 students, we're going to be mailing and shipping Chromebooks once they arrive. The school committee approved a purchase of about a little over 1,000 Chromebooks for our remaining students in the district who do not have Chromebooks to use for the distance learning. We also were very fortunate to receive a donation of $100,000 from the Rhode Island Foundation and then $150,000 from CVS. So we're going to be putting that money towards the purchase of Chromebooks so that all of our students in grades K through 12 have access to a Chromebook at home, which makes distance learning a lot easier.
Sure.
Than just utilizing the packets, which is what we've continued to do for our kids in grades K through 4. So in terms of sort of predicting that we were going to be out longer than initially the governor had determined, we made more packets to send out to our students. The one snafu that we ran into is that the volume of packets were so high that the Woonsocket Post Office had difficulty distributing them. So there were still families as of Friday that were yet to receive packets. The packets that went from weeks 5 through 8. So that's unfortunate. I apologize, to families who have yet to receive those packets. Hopefully, if you haven't received them, they'll be coming, today. So that's really been one of the biggest snafus so far during this whole distance learning process.
All right. I remember you saying, back 4 or 5 weeks ago, that the elementary school were going to get these packets of information, packets of work, really, and they wanted the parents to come by and pick up the packets at that time. Mm-hmm. And you mentioned something along the facts of, well, we want the students to do the work. We want them to hang on to the packets, and when they come back to school, pass them in. So what's the deal now? What do those students do with those packets of work?
Yeah, so we've been talking about what that's going to look like, and it'll range from potentially dropping them off at various locations to when our students in grades K through 4, because our grade 5 students have Chromebooks now. Those were distributed to them a couple of weeks ago. One of the things that you can do with the Chromebook is the Chromebook has an option on there where you can take photos of work. So one of the things that we're also looking to have our students do is are the packets that they've completed, taking photos of those packets and that work, and then sending it to their teacher, so their teacher can then see the work that they've done, and they can, make the necessary, grades, and they can assess the work as well. So that's probably going to be the primary way that we, really hold our students accountable for completing those packets.
I see. Dr. McGee, how often are you in contact with the Commissioner of Education, Dr. Infante Green?
So, actually, not directly with the commissioner herself, but what we do, the person that we are in regular contact with would be the deputy commissioner, Kelvin Roldan. So, one of the things that RIDE has done, which has really been very supportive and helpful, is they've established sort of a point person from RIDE to have weekly Zoom conferences with districts. So our point person happens to be the deputy commissioner. So we meet with him through a Zoom conference, and it's just Woonsocket that meets with him. And when I say Woonsocket, it's myself and the central office team. So it's the directors as well as finance. Our chief operating officer, special education, ELL. It's my entire central office team. So we meet with the deputy commissioner every Tuesday at 4:00, and those check-ins are just opportunities for us to provide him with feedback as to how things are going in the district. And he offers us suggestions, and he lets us know what RIDE is doing as well. So it's really worked out nicely. We've been doing that, as I said, weekly, and we're going to continue to have those check-ins with him, through the end of the school year. So it really has been very helpful. In terms of the commissioner, we also have weekly superintendent Zoom meetings, and she's attended a few of those as well. But we have so the communication between RIDE and the districts and the districts and the Superintendents Association has really been very, very good. So I'm really pleased.
Okay. We had a story last week, Dr. McGee, and I bring it up because the commissioner said with the whole distance learning thing going on in the state of Rhode Island, she says 90% of the students are participating statewide. And then there was a story in the call for Socket saying that the participation was really 75%.
Right.
Can you just talk to that? What are the right percentages?
I think her percentage was sort of an average statewide. I think that there are some districts that probably have a higher percentage of
some of the suburban districts were told were a little bit more prepared for it because they don't live so close together.
Yeah.
Right, and then other districts are a little bit lower. So one of the things that I asked my principal to provide me last week was a percentage, by teacher in their buildings with respect to students who are checking in every day. Because we certainly have some students that check in every day. We have some students that maybe miss a day or two here and there. So I sort of took a rough average of what I received. Now, some teachers are reporting 90% of their students, 95% of their students, and other teachers are reporting, 60% of their students, 70%. So the average really is in Woonsocket. And when I say participating, I mean, like Monday through Friday, every single day is, I would say about 75%. In terms of our attendance, our attendance is a student just checking in and not necessarily, being present for the entire 6 hours per se, during each of the days. So ours, I would say, is about 75%. And again, it varies within the district. There are some teachers who are reporting, 90+%, but then there are some other teachers who are reporting, not 90%. So that 75 is really an average of our students checking in every single day.
Dr. McGee, this is Dave. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I wonder if you'd agree or disagree with the supposition that the activity is largely along cultural boundaries, that those that aren't checking in as much, there may be some sort of cultural difference, either lack of internet or lack of attention to schooling or something like that, as opposed to other cultures that might put a higher priority on both of those things. Would you agree or disagree?
Well, certainly I would say the device and the accessibility to internet is definitely an issue because although we've sent out letters and we've sent out surveys to our families, asking them, if they have access to Wi-Fi and to internet, and we've received, responses back, and those that did not have access, we've provided hotspots to those families. But we're still getting some communication from families that's trickling in that they don't have access to Wi-Fi. So that's one area that is definitely an issue, and I think it relates directly to the participation rate. The other thing is I wouldn't say it's so much cultural. I would just sort of paint it with a broad brush in that I think that there are. Well, I don't think I know anecdotally in conversations that I've had with district teachers and administrators that there are families out there where their child's sleeping until noontime, and one of the things one of the many things that schools provide students is with a schedule and they have to get up at a certain time and they've got to obviously go to school,
which of course means they have to go to bed at a certain time.
Exactly. You can't stay up until 11 o'clock, 10 o'clock at night, because the later you go to bed, the later you're going to get up in the morning. And
right.
Especially, if no one's checking in with you, checking in on you in the morning, then, so one of the things that I think is that it isn't, as I said, it's not cultural, but it's some of our parents have got to ensure that their children are prepared and are accessing the distance learning, whether it's through their Chromebook or with their packets. That, I think, is a problem. And I think that our numbers, our percentage, would be higher if that were happening. Now, I also understand that, you have parents who work strange shifts. So when they leave for work early in the morning, their child or their children is sleeping. But our teachers are checking in, and they're checking in obviously with our students, but they're also checking in with our parents, via email,
right,
telephone calls, and when they're trying to reach the parent, if the parent's not responding to them, that's not good. I mean, the parents have to assume responsibility here as well. The teachers can't do it all, and our teachers and staff, not just our teachers, our support staff, our social workers, our psychologists are really doing a tremendous job of reaching out to our families and trying to provide support to them. But the parents have to assume responsibility. And, the teacher can only do so much. The teacher can prepare the lesson. The teacher, and again, they've been working really hard with Google Classroom, with Class Dojo. We've had a team of teachers that have been putting these packets together. And they've been working really hard, and for the most part, I think the vast majority of our families and parents are really doing a great job of holding their students, their children accountable, and making sure that they're getting up and that they're participating in distance learning. But there's unfortunately a portion that are not, and they need to make sure that their children are participating, because like I said, our teachers are working from home also, and they can't go out to the homes of their students to make sure that they're getting up on time or going to bed on time and are completing the work.
How much how much is your attendance officer able to help with that, do you think?
So what we've done is we have a number of families where the teacher's been unable to make contact, the principal's been unable to make contact, the social workers. So those names have gone to our attendance officers, and our attendance officers have been attempting to not go to the home, because again, we want to adhere to the governor's guidance on not making contact.
Mm-hmm.
So they've been calling, they've been emailing, and then if they're unable, then a list has gone to Dr. Holt, our director of curriculum and development, and she's putting letters together that are being sent out. Those numbers aren't that high, so the number of students that we haven't been able to make contact with is not that great. But what we're finding is that there are some that are not checking in every single day in terms of the work.
I see. So the chronic non-attendance is probably no worse than it was, but the casual non-attendance is increasing in some places?
I would say it's probably kind of steady, and I'm going to be curious to see what it looks like now that the governor made the decision that we're not going to return.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if there were some students out there who thought, this isn't going to last that long. I'm not going to do very much.
Take it as a vacation. We'll make up the work later.
Yeah, exactly.
There's not going to be any makeup. There's going to be summer school maybe, but not makeup, huh?
That's right, exactly. So one of the things that we are, reiterating, and I sent out a letter last week to our parents, and I know that our principals have been doing the same thing, is letting families know that, if your son or daughter is doing nothing, then they're going to be graded on nothing, and they're not going to be given a free pass here.
And guess what? You're in the same grade again next year, kiddo.
Yeah,
Take two.
I use the example that if you've done nothing during the part of the school year where you came in and it was face to face with a teacher, and you continue to do nothing during this distance learning, then you're not going to be promoted. There's no magic wand. However,
so that's a myth. Then everybody gets promoted anyway because you can't afford to clog up the system. It's a myth.
It is. Yeah. Yes, it's a myth. I've heard a couple of things. One of the things I've heard is that everyone's going to be retained, and I heard that everyone's going to be promoted.
Yeah, that doesn't sound right either. Yeah. So it's going to be same as usual. Right. If you put the work in, you get the promotion. Or you don't put the work in, guess what? You get a chance to do the same old stuff again.
Exactly.
All right, let's take a break here in the Coffee and program. We're talking with Dr. Patrick McGee, school superintendent for the city of Woonsocket. And if you have any comments or questions, give us a call in, 766-1240. This segment of Coffee and has been sponsored by Windermere Woods.
Windermere Woods, located at 1044 Menden Road in Woonsocket. Windermere Woods, 401-762-4226, and also on the web at windermerewoods.com. Live at Windermere Woods in a nice atmosphere that provides caring, security, and comfort. Once you move in, you'll want to stay at Windermere Woods for many years and be happy. It's a comfortable place to live and meet new people, enjoy regular meals, and get peace of mind. Windermere Woods is a small community with a nice, friendly atmosphere, and Windermere Woods is affordable. Windermere Woods offers such programs as housekeeping services, transportation to doctor's appointments, and to shopping. Windermere Woods is a very secure facility, 24/7 staffing. Someone's there day and night. They provide social entertainment activities and invite you to come by and visit. Windermere Woods, 1044 Menden Road, Woonsocket, 401-762-4226. Windermere Woods.
My part-time service in the Army National Guard makes it possible for me to be more for the community I call home. I'm a better neighbor because my service has taught me how important it is to be a team player. My training helps me in my classes when I give attention to detail to the task at hand. My service also allows me to be there for my community in ways others can't. I help my hometown recover after nature strikes. My service in the Army National Guard allows me to keep my country and those I care about safe from threats. I also work with a network of professionals that help me succeed. Also, the Army National Guard's education benefits make getting a higher education a reality. Being an Army National Guard soldier makes living and serving in my community more rewarding every day. Learn more about how you too can live and serve part-time close to home by visiting NationalGuard.com.
Sponsored by the Rhode Island Army National Guard. Aired by the Rhode Island Broadcasters Association and this station.
The Coffee and Panel is enjoying coffee from Down East Coffee in Pawtucket. They're a 62-year-old family business that roasts all its coffee right here in Rhode Island. Founded originally as Excellent Coffee Company, they provide great coffee to food service establishments throughout New England.
You can depend on us for public service. ON Radio.
And it's Coffee In on ON, AM, and FM. This is Joe Callahan here with Dave Richards, and we're talking with Dr. Patrick McGee.
I have my hand up, Joe. I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah, I can now.
Because I want to ask a question. Isn't it? Aren't you supposed to put your hand up?
Yes, you are. It's school time, you know. All right, go ahead, Dave. You're up.
Dr. McGee, again, thanks for spending so much time with us, but we only have a little bit more time left. I did want to make sure we asked a couple of other questions. Like, for instance, you mentioned the Chromebooks. Now, the school department has spent lots of dough on the Chromebooks. I think it's being funded through a third-party source or something helping you out with that. But you realize that it's a tool that not everybody has. There may be a computer in the house, but the students may not be able to use that computer. So getting a Chromebook into their hands will encourage their participation because they've got something they can work with that's kind of theirs. It's on loan to them anyway. And that you can, you know that it's got all the tools on it that will assist them in their studies. But what's the turnaround time for saying, hey, let's buy some Chromebooks for the kids to the time the kid actually has it in their hand?
Yeah, that's a very good question, Dave. So so the Chromebooks have been ordered, and approximately 900 were delivered to central receiving at the high school late last week. So the process of once they're delivered to us, what we do is there's a way that our tech department can push out all of the different platforms that are being used by teachers in the district. Like Google Classroom is one major example of you know, the primary platform that teachers use. There are also other types of programs that our teachers currently just use with the Chromebooks in their classrooms to help support students in reading, math, science, so on and so forth. And we're able to sort of push those out sort of electronically to the computers, sort of in mass.
Nice.
We're able to do that.
You still got to open them up and turn them on and make sure they work and stuff, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So that's still a lot of work with 900 computers. For what do you got, 4 or 5 people?
It is. It is. So they've really kind of been working, not necessarily around the clock, but pretty close to that.
Mm-hmm.
So we're estimating that the turnaround time will probably be a couple of weeks. So we're looking at, another week and a half to 2 weeks where, and then once we've done that, we also utilize these little things called clever badges, which is kind of looks like a laminated, like an ID, where students use that on their computer, and it sort of checks them into the platform, so they don't have to type in a password and all of this stuff. We've been using the clever badges for a good 4 years.
Works something like a QR code or something, the computer can read it? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So those are going to be placed in the box, and then we're going to box them up, and then we're going to be getting them to, I believe it's UPS that's going to be delivering them to our families. So that's pretty much what that process is going to look like.
So it's a maddening delay, but eventually these youngsters will have something that will improve their studies.
They will, yeah.
And would that now include? I know you mentioned 900, but there's a lot of students. Would that include most of the students having access now to computer?
That would, yeah. So the 900 have arrived, and then there are more that are coming in as well. So we ordered well over almost 2,000 to make up the difference between the kindergarten through 4th grade.
Nice. All right. And last question, I guess is the last question. Joe, did you have another one that you had to get in?
Well, I have another one, yes.
Is it really good?
I don't know.
All right, Joe, I'll let you ask yours.
It's it's something that pertains to my daughter because she's in the same situation. And are the schools working on a plan, Doctor, for the students to come back sometime May, June? Because some of the kids may have some personal items in their lockers.
Yeah, that's actually that was a really good question, Joe.
Thank you.
Better than mine.
So I actually have received some emails from some parents, asking about what that's going to look like. So right now, I don't have a plan that's established, but we are in the process of looking at how our students and even our staff, because our staff, when we left, at the time, we didn't think we were going to be out for the entire school year. I mean, as more time progressed, it sort of became a little bit more evident that we'd be out for the rest of the year. But initially, when we left, we were anticipating at some point we'd come back. So we are in the process of putting together a plan as to how students and staff can come back in and retrieve their personal items, before the end of the year.
Okay. All right, Dave, you have one more question? Or
No, you don't have time for it now because we got Kelly in the on-deck circle.
All right, very good. Dr. Patrick McGee, school superintendent for the city of Woonsocket School Department, I should say. Thanks for joining us this morning, and best of luck with the rest of the school year with this distance learning. It's working out as best as it can be, right?
It is, yes, it is. We're doing as good a job as we can do, and we're continuing to try to make improvements, where we can.
Thanks for being with us, Dr. McGee. It means an awful lot that you spend this time with us. We appreciate it.
Well, my pleasure. Anytime. Thank you, Dave and Joe. Have a great day.
Thanks, you too.
Take care.
Time for a look at the forecast right now, being sponsored by CVS. We are looking at cloudy skies today, chance of rain throughout the entire day. High temperature will be near 39, kind of windy today, north winds gusting up to 30 miles per hour. Tonight, cloudy skies, chance of rain before 10, then a chance of snow. Low temperature tonight around 34, continued windy, wind gusts as high as 24 miles per hour. Tuesday, chance of rain and snow before 8 in the morning, then a chance of rain between 8 and 11. It stays mostly cloudy throughout the day with a high near 52. Tuesday night, partly cloudy, low 35. Wednesday, mostly sunny, high near 56. Thursday, back into the rain and a high temperature near 56. And currently outside the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Avenue and Kennedy Street, we have cloudy skies and 40 degrees. Get free 1 to 2 day delivery of prescriptions and store essentials from CVS. Visit them online or call your local CVS to learn more. Restrictions apply. More Coffee Ends coming up. Stay tuned.
I'm here with Kara Benjamin of the Benjamin Insurance Agency. Kara, tell me about your agency.
Sure. We started our agency from scratch, which means we opened with no customers. We have grown because of all the family, friends, and locals that supported us over the years. We are proudly woman-owned and operated since 2006. We're a family business, mother and daughter team, so you get two different generations coming together to get the best of both worlds.
You're in good hands with Allstate and Kara and Celeste Benjamin of the Benjamin Insurance Agency, 125 Eddie Dowling Highway, across from Dowling Village in North Smithfield, 765-5000.
Our business is truly a referral business, and we have built it based on our premier service level and commitment to what we do. If you are looking for personalized service with people who care, that would be us.
The Baroaster House restaurant on Pond Street in Woonsocket is open for takeout and delivery of any dish on their menu. All you have to do is call them at 762-1717. Tell them if you'll pick it up or if you want it delivered. You have a choice. The Baroaster House is open 7 days a week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday from 4 to 8, Thursday 4 to 9, and Friday and Saturday 3 to 9, Sundays noon to 8. You don't have to miss your favorite Baroaster House meal. Order takeout or delivery at 762-1717. That's 762-1717. The Baroaster House.
It's Coffee Inn on ON, AM, and FM, and this segment of the Coffee Inn program is sponsored by the Call newspaper.
The Woonsocket Call newspaper, together with sponsors Pool Pro and Spa and Superior Granite, publish a community calendar daily in the Call. This is a list of event happenings throughout our communities over the next 4 weeks. If you'd like to submit an event, all you have to do is email your event details to notices at woonsocketcall.com. That's notices at woonsocketcall.com, or phone them at 767-8550. To subscribe to The Call, call us today at 767-8522. The Call.
It is Coffee In on ON AM and FM. This is Joe Callahan here with Dave Richards. Good morning, Dave.
Good morning, Joe. Lovely day.
Yes, and joining us on the phone right now from Wright's Dairy Farm, let's welcome in Kelly Lemoyne. Good morning, Kelly. How are you today? How are you today, Kelly?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm doing fine, thank you very much. So things are business. It's not business as usual over there at Wright's Dairy Farm, is it?
It wasn't at first, but it's this past week has been pretty much business as usual. We've seen pretty much the same amount of customers this week as we would on a normal week in April.
Kelly, the cows
Great.
don't seem to notice anything different at all, do they?
Oh, the cows still need to be milked twice a day, every day. So
No matter what.
Now, I said earlier to Joe, I says, I'll bet you that they're doing a bang-up business out the back door. Well, actually, it's out the front door, but the door faces the back. They're doing a great business at curbside at Wright's. Now that the word is out, I bet you're doing a great business because everybody wants a treat.
we are selling so much milk and ice cream we can barely keep up. We had to produce ice cream this week 3 times.
Whoa.
So I think people are looking for that comfort food, and they're choosing ice cream.
So tell the girls to get busy, huh?
Yes.
So are most of the orders, are they coming in by phone or are they coming in over the internet?
90% are coming in through the internet. It's really just people that aren't too tech savvy that are calling in and placing their order when they get to the farm.
Okay.
And we're just putting it in the system the same way and then packing it up and bringing it right out to them. So either way, it works really well. The thing with the phone lines is, though, we only have 4 lines. So,
yeah.
you know,
might be getting
sometimes it gets a little backed up.
Sure. Okay. So, and are people enjoying the part online basically that says, all right, I know I want to pick it up on Tuesday at 3:30? They like the idea of picking their date and time?
Yeah, customers love that because it's already, that way it's in the system. They show up Tuesday at that time, and they're just texting us, hey, we're here, and we bring it right out to them. It's a pretty seamless system. If you wait to order in real time, you have more of the obstacle of something might be out of stock or, you know, you deal with more of that situation, whereas if you're ordering ahead, we really try to make sure we have those items for you.
So after you've ordered your items and you've picked your date and time that you pick up, when you pull into your driveway, are there people there that are directing you where to park and things like that?
Nope. There's all signage, so we really try hard to make it a no contact process so that no one has to be worried about, you know, being in close proximity to other people. So there's signage when you drive up the long driveway in front of the red barn, and then when you get into the parking lot, the whole front of the building is full of signs. So text this number when you get here, a sign how to order if you haven't visited or you haven't heard the word that, you know, you can't come into the building. And once you let us know that you're, you know, in the parking lot, all the spots are numbered. So we're just asking you, you know, what spot are you in? You let us know, and we're bringing it right out to you, putting it in your trunk, and you can head on your way.
It's an excellent plan. That's working out nicely, huh?
It is, yeah. It was a rough road for a few weeks trying to figure out how to stay ahead of everything and make everyone feel comfortable, including the staff. I mean, it was really hard when we were only letting a few people in the building at a time. The staff still didn't feel safe, you know, so we really wanted to do something that would make our employees feel comfortable as well as our customers that were visiting.
Well, you're lucky, I think, Kelly, because Wright's Dairy Farm is a somewhat larger building, and so you can keep that social distancing going while you're working and still hit all the marks, I think, right?
Yeah, we're really fortunate.
And you've got
that.
space
We
there.
look to
I know some
spread out.
places are really cramped. In fact,
Oh, yeah.
I remember the days when Grandma was running the place that it was much, much smaller than it is right today. So it.
Yeah, we
you've
have
got
the
space.
huge new building. Yep. So even the bakers, they're able to each have their own bench and really keep that 6-foot distance while they're producing everything. So
And of course,
it's
they're
working out
using all the
nicely.
proper gloves and masks and stuff like that, I'm sure. So nobody has to have any concerns at all.
Right, and we're doing, employee health checks every day. Every time, someone comes into the building to work their shift, we're going through a list of questions to make sure that, they're being safe and are nice and healthy. And, we're all stopping what we're doing every 30 minutes, washing our hands, making sure, every time we come in contact with other things that we're washing our hands. So we've been really trying to stay ahead of it and stay healthy. We don't want anyone to get sick, so...
Now, is anyone on the staff losing weight because of all the physical activity of bringing these bags out to the trunks of cars?
No, but they have requested to wear sneakers instead of their normal work shoes so they could move a little faster out there.
That makes sense. A little bit more comfortable, too. Yeah, that makes some sense.
Exactly, yeah. They were talking about all the steps they've gotten in and, what great exercise it is, but... They're just, we feed them some cake and ice cream, and it balances right out.
So before, when things were normal, you had your cashiers working there as well. Did you have to take some of them and say, okay, now we're going to have you answering the phones or checking orders on the internet? Have they just had to change their job?
Oh, yeah. We used to have daily someone on the phone scheduled from 9 to 5 every day of the week. Right now, we have 4 people on the phones every day.
Wow.
And because we don't need cashiers or, people boxing pastry, we've changed the whole inside. Everyone has a different job position. We've even recruited some of the decorators because we've lost a significant amount of the cake side of things.
Mm-hmm.
No one's having weddings or events, so all these decorators have no work to do.
Yeah.
So we've recruited them, and we've taken them onto the sales side, and they're filling orders and running it out to cars and helping text customers in the parking lot. And it's just, everyone's been so, great in being able to diversify really quickly during this whole thing.
Now, probably when you started doing this, you probably had still people showing up thinking they could come in and browse around. I'm hoping that the numbers of those people have gone down as the weeks have gone on. Is that true?
It has. We're still seeing it. I mean, I was there on Saturday morning, bright and early, and a gentleman tried to come right into the building. And I had to put my hands up and, wave at him, no, you can't come in here. And he was like, why not? And I was like, oh, my goodness. So it's like, I know you can't reach everyone.
Step outside and read the signs, sir.
Yes, and I'm like, you don't see everyone else sitting in their cars, but yeah, I mean, we've had a few here and there, mostly on weekends, that I think they just, I mean, I wouldn't try to go anywhere these days without checking if their hours changed or what the process is. So
Exactly.
I feel like people just aren't doing their part in staying up to date on what's going on.
Makes sense. Now, I'm thinking that, milk's still a good big seller, and ice cream is a big seller right now. I'm thinking the parents are trying to incentivize their kids. If they do well in schoolwork, we'll get you some ice cream from Wright's if you do well or if you keep up the good work. Okay, Mom and Dad. If ice cream's the prize, then absolutely.
Yes. Also, we have a little item called a kids pack. That is great for that. It's a cupcake, 4 mini cookies, and an M&M brownie, and those have been selling like hotcakes. So I think maybe that they spread out the treats over the week from that little package, and the kids do their schoolwork and behave themselves while staying in quarantine. They can have a little treat.
And how about some ice cream on top of the brownie?
Yes.
Yeah, that sounds great.
So,
gee whiz.
Are cakes and pies, are they holding their own there, or have you seen a drop off because of the COVID-19?
Yeah, Well, we really tried to modify. So we, on a typical week, we have like 800 products that we make. So we really whittled it down to about 75, and we really tried to downscale. So, normally we're selling 8-inch, 10-inch pies. We're selling 6-inch pies now. So people can still have a slice of pie. It's just, modified because obviously you're not gathering with a big group.
Mm-hmm.
And we did the same thing with cakes. I mean, people still want birthday cakes. They want something for little Johnny's birthday.
But it's only going to be 3 or 4 people around tops.
Exactly. So, everything that's on the online menu is made smaller scale than what we normally would. Or you can still call and special order something. I mean, some people are getting bigger stuff because they say they want leftovers, which I totally understand.
Oh, yeah.
But, yeah, cakes and pies, I mean, in comparison to what we're normally doing this time of year with graduation season and Mother's Day and religious season, I mean, it just is not even close to what we normally are doing, but we really, are making up with it with these ice cream sales and the increased milk sales. I mean, we are selling more milk now than we have in a long time, which is really great. So,
well, Kelly,
everyone coming out visiting us.
Kelly, we're very proud of you and the rest of the family there. Please tell everybody how proud we are of Wright's Dairy Farm, always, but especially now in being able to adapt to this. There's no reflection on you that it took a short period of time to get the adaptation. The fact is, as you adapted to it and you got it right, and the farm continues, the cows continue producing the milk, and everybody has jobs, and by golly, you'll be just fine when everybody can come out and start browsing the counters for those delicious treats again.
Kelly, what's the website that people can go and order products from Wright's Dairy?
Yeah, so they can go right to wrightsdairyfarm.com, and there's a nice little bar on the front of the navigation that says order, and you would just click everyday orders, and that's how you can schedule for as soon as 30 minutes out or as far out as 14 days. So you could order for 2 weeks from now if you'd like.
Nice. And the phone number over there in case someone wants to do it the old-fashioned way?
Yeah, it's 401-767-3014, and they would want to use extension 4.
And you're open 7 days a week?
We are still open 7 days a week with regular hours. That's one thing we decided, we're going to try to keep some normalcy going on, and everything's the same hours, and, we're open every day still, so.
Fantastic.
What are the hours, by the way, Kelly? Do you have them off the top of your head?
Yeah, it's Monday through Saturday, 8 a.m. to 7 p.m.
Right.
And then Sundays, we close a little earlier. We're open 8 to 5 on Sundays.
All right.
All right,
we're proud of you, Kelly. Doing nice work over there.
Congratulations.
Oh, thank you, guys. I appreciate you having me on.
It was fun having you here, and best of luck, as always, over there at Wright's Dairy Farm. Kelly Lemoyne, thank you for joining us on Coffee and today.
Yay!
Thank you. You guys have a great day.
All right. Bye-bye.
You too. All right. This segment of the Coffee and program has been sponsored by The Call newspaper.
The Call is proud to announce a new and improved daily classified advertising program for our newspaper readers, subscribers, and advertisers. Blackstone Valley Values is a more affordable local buying and selling marketplace every day of the week. Lost and found, apartment rentals, items for sale, homes for sale or rent, and even job listings will now be even more within your reach. As always, if you have something you want to sell, call us today with your ad, and it'll appear in the next day's call. Be sure to contact us, though, before the 3 p.m. deadline. Furthermore, if you're a subscriber to The Call, you'll benefit from value member discounts and possibly some free advertisements with this new program offer. The Call continues to be dedicated to you, as we have been for over 120 years. Call us today and learn more about our new classified program at 767-8503. To subscribe to The Call and become a valued member, call today, 767-8522.
So you're remodeling your home, and you want to find just the right flooring. So off you go to DRL Carpet. Why? because they have the best selection and prices in Rhode Island and Massachusetts. That means you don't have to wait. Plus, it means you can get it installed now. So first you get the best price, next you get the best service, and you get the best selection. Whether you're looking for carpet, tile, hardwood floors, the place to shop is DRL Carpet, 27 Veterans Way, Woonsocket, next to World War II Veterans Memorial Park. DRL Carpet reminds you there's a big difference between getting the job done and getting the job done right. DRL Carpet of Woonsocket.
Hi, folks. This is Dave Richards. You know, over the next couple of weeks, most of us are going to see a deposit in our bank accounts or a check from the federal government. The average family of 4 will receive $3,400. Now, if you need this money to pay your bills, that's what you should do. But if you're still getting paid, the money that's been sent to you is to help stimulate your local economy. We'd like to encourage you to spend that money locally to help our local economy first. Please don't go out running to big box stores where the money leaves town and leaves the state, as a matter of fact. Think of the local mom-and-pop businesses right here in the Blackstone Valley. And think local first. Buy local first. Support your friends and neighbors. Thank you.
It's Coffee and on ON, AM and FM. Thanks for joining us on this Monday morning. This is Joe Callahan here with Dave Richards. Still with us, Dave?
No, I'm over here, Joe.
Okay. Glad that you're still there, though. So that's a good thing. Just take a look at some of the news items. So this place out in Burrillville, Dave,
Daniel Prosciutto, yeah,
Incorporated. They got 80 cases of coronavirus. Am I reading that right, or am I misreading?
That's what was in the news story. You're right, Joe. I'll tell you that company has always had my admiration. They set up in Burrillville at the old industrial park on Route 100, and they built a beautiful, beautiful place. And they send out. There's something about this prosciutto ham, the way that it's cured and sliced and everything else like that, that it's great on sandwiches. It's called for in recipes because of its unique qualities. And they make it there. Now, that was just up the street, actually down the street, half a mile, maybe 3/4 of a mile from where I grew up. So we knew them when they started up. And we knew the guy who was running the place. He hired a whole bunch of dozens of people already. And then you know what happened when the water went bad in Pasco, because that gas station was leaking its tanks into the main well of the Pasco Water District. Well, boy, did that mess up his operation, because he was using water on the Pasco water system, the same way we were in our home. And all of a sudden the water's no good, and you don't find out until you've been using the water now, and it's been no good for a short time because there was intervals of testing. So between tests, it went bad, and you didn't find out till after a test, and then they had to get the word out. It was terrible, and it really hurt his business. But he managed to keep everybody going. And then his response to that is: does he leave town? Does he mess around? Does he sell the place? No, he builds a bigger plant out on Broncos Highway. And because he's got the business, he's got the recipe, he's got the plant for it, and he makes this prosciutto ham, which is just outstanding. So he builds a bigger plant out there on Broncos Highway, a little less off the beaten path, and he's doing a good business. And now this comes along, and his workers are starting to come down with this. I feel so bad for him, because he's already weathered a terrible natural emergency, and now he's got another one.
Yep.
But this is very, very difficult. Daniel Prosciutto, it's a top company and very well run, and one of the major businesses in Burrillville.
Okay. Well, hopefully you can.
In fact, they were the number 2 employer in Burrillville, behind the state. But then the state shut down Zambrano, so I think they were number 1 employer in Burrillville, I think.
Okay. Well, I wonder if he's able to hire people, or if people are even applying, knowing that there are COVID-19 cases in the building.
Yeah, I don't know about that, because I live in Woonsocket now for the last several years, or 7 years actually. because we raised our family. We sold our house out in Burrillville, and we moved it back to Woonsocket. So I'm a little out of touch over the last several years of what's going on out there, except what I hear. So I don't know what the story behind the story is on that, Joe.
Okay. So how was your weekend, Dave?
Well, I didn't get done what I was supposed to get done. We had some issues that we had to take care of on Saturday, so we couldn't keep our schedule. On Saturday, I was counting on to get the grass done, do some yard work and the rest of that stuff, and some other things inside the building that had to be taken care of, but I couldn't get to most of that. Yesterday, we got to some, and then we went out to see Don Burnell and start installing equipment out there so he can start his midday show back again a week from tomorrow on May the 5th.
Excellent.
So it was a weekend where we didn't get done what we wanted to get done, but the time went by anyway.
Doesn't it always?
Yes, it does. And here we are again on Monday and having a wonderful time.
All right, and we have enough equipment for Don to do it from his home? I mean,
absolutely.
I'm broadcasting from home, and John's broadcasting from home, and now Don's going to broadcast from home.
I know. We're not going to be doing too many football or hockey games, I'll tell you, because a lot of our remote equipment is out in the field, dedicated to our staff. But if we had to, we could probably still get something done. But they're not playing hockey games, so we're taking that equipment and putting it out. The football game equipment goes to another place. You've got the football game equipment in Mansfield, as a matter of fact. And the hockey equipment is going over to where Don is. And John had a lot of equipment of his own already, so we just had to program it with the proper programs and adjustments and things like that, and give him a microphone and that sort of thing.
Right. Well, with the school buildings closing down in Rhode Island for the rest of the year, and then of course that cancels all the spring sports, it makes you forward. It makes you wonder what will happen in the fall, and will we have fall sports? Will the buildings be open by then? I mean, you certainly hope so, but you never know.
Joe, the only thing that's going to stop that from happening is if there's a resurgence,
and
if we're careful, there shouldn't be a resurgence.
Well,
right now, we're getting figures that indicate that it's not getting worse, it's not really getting better, but there's a light at the end of the tunnel. Now, if we're careful about how we reinstitute society and our commingling and the rest of that sort of stuff, and we're careful with it, and we can get it down and take special precautions, they're never going to take everything off. That's not going to happen probably for the rest of the year. There's still going to be social distancing at the stores. There's still going to be a certain number of people that can get into this place or that place. There's still going to be a cap on gatherings. There's still going to be those sorts of things for quite some time. But if we don't come back with a resurgence, I think there's going to be a great many things that do come back, and some of it's going to have to do with sports. Now, you're talking about high school sports. That'll probably be the last to come back.
So do you see fall sports then coming back? Or
professional sports, I do.
High school sports?
High school sports, it's a maybe. It really depends on whether there's a resurgence of the pandemic virus. If there's no resurgence, then we're hopeful.
Yeah.
But nobody can say for sure. Just how fast is it going to subside? And all the mucky mucks who want some FaceTime on TV are all saying, there's going to be a big resurgence. We're down for the count. It'll be 10 years before life returns to normal. And we won't even remember what normal is by the time we get back to normal again. And like that. Well, they're all just vying for attention in the litter box, if you ask me. But I think that a sober calculation of things is that some restrictions will continue. Now, can the students, you're talking about high school football and basketball and everything, it's like, can the students play the game and keep distance? No, that's probably not going to happen. But can they do other things? Well, fine. Paid professionals, yeah, they're going to get together and do stuff anyway. They're just going to thumb their nose at it, take the chances, and like that, and they're going to test. As soon as somebody comes down with something, all right, you and everybody that you played with, you're gone. And after a few weeks, you'll be back. Professionals could withstand that. But high school kids are not going to do that. And you're going to have a lot of the parents coming in saying,
oh, yeah.
Oh, no, not Johnny. Not Susie. Yeah. No, I don't think so. You'll have to go a season without it. Sorry about that.
I know the NHL and the NBA are both kicking it around saying, hey, June, we're going to start reopening facilities. I don't know if that's true or not. You know, you read a lot of different things.
I think they mean training facilities when they say that, Joe.
That's right. So what, do they have to train for a week or a month before they would start the season up again? Boy, it's really going to be tough playing hockey in July in some of these buildings.
Yeah, you're right about that. Although maybe not so much now. I remember the old Boston Garden at North Station. When it got to be a warm day, a fog developed on the ice. But I don't think TD Garden is built of the same stuff. I think TD Garden is much more air-conditioned than air-ventilated. So I have a feeling that they'll be able to pretend it's colder outside, even in July, when they're doing it. I don't know this for a fact, but I'm guessing that they wouldn't have built a brand-new facility without improving upon it. The old Boston Garden was built in the 1920s, and nobody had a thought for doing any kind of ice work when it was warm outside, but it got to be that way.
We do have a note that's been written into me, Dave, Joe at OneSocketRadio.com. And
they never write me.
I know. No. The person writes in that a woman in Massachusetts yesterday said about reopening the economy, quote, I don't want to live my life in fear from somebody else. Okay, person writes it's a puzzling statement. It may sound selfish. I don't know if it sounds selfish.
Oh, yes, it does.
You think so?
Oh, yeah. Because now you've made a decision for yourself. Okay, no problem. No harm, no foul. But you've also made a choice for your family and everyone else you daily come in contact with.
By being in fear of them?
By being cautious.
Yeah.
Fear doesn't enter into it.
Mm-hmm.
Being cautious. You have to be concerned. And I could make a decision for myself. I've just got that kind of cocky personality anyway. But then the fabulous Denise is responsible to put up with everything that I might come in contact with. Okay, fine. Maybe I don't care. Maybe I'll get sick. But then she's going to get sick.
Yeah.
And it's because of that that I say no. It's because of that I lock the front door at the station and do things at distance and that sort of thing like that. That's why, because everybody I come in contact with now is going to be responsible for my decision, and that's where it is selfish. That's how I see it.
Well, I'm trying not to live my life in fear either. Went out to the store yesterday. The only thing I really changed, Dave, I don't think I've handled paper money in about a month.
Oh, really? Yeah, that could be. We use the debit card more often.
Everything is just the debit card. Yeah.
Yeah, that's understandable.
That way, new money in either. You're not touching money that other people have touched. So
yeah, that's all true. That's all true. But I think it comes down to this, Joe. And I know we got to end the program. It comes down to this: living in fear. No, living with consideration for others. That your actions might have an effect on them, even if you don't care for yourself. Care about other people. And I'll leave you with this little thought from our dear old friend. I don't know if you ever met him, but he was a good buddy of mine, both on a personal and professional level, Salty Brine, who always said these words, brush your teeth and say your prayers. And I asked him one time on a visit what he meant by that. How'd you come up with it? It was a great tagline. He says, well, it's very simple. He says, you take responsibility for the things that are yours, and the things you can do nothing about, put in the hands of deity. So fear? No, not fear, but consideration for everyone else and self-responsibility. That's what we have to concentrate on, I think.
All right. Like Dave said, we have come to the end of the program. We want to thank Dr. Patrick McGee, Superintendent of Schools in Woonsocket, for joining us in the early part of the program. And we thank Kelly Lemoyne from Wright's Dairy